Hey, what's up, players? This is Hall of Famer Teddy Long, and right now we're getting ready to have a six-pack challenge match with Potsy and Tino on the big podcast show. Holla at a player.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Pots and Pans Network brings to you its tag team champions of the world, the Road Dogg, Tino Gray, the badass Rob Potsy Potchak. We are the Potsy and Tino Show. Our theme song, as always, is brought to you by Adam's House Cat. It's called The Wrestling Song. It's available on iTunes for 99 cents.
99.
It's what you just heard right there. It is used with permission from the people that created it. And tonight, I'm already choked up. We already knew tonight's show was going to be difficult to sit here and talk about when it comes to pro wrestling because of the passing of one of the best and greatest of all time, Terry Funk. But about 30 minutes before we went on the air, Triple H from WWE also mentioned that we lost one of the pioneers of creativity in the industry. And I don't know about you, but I'm shook by it. And for those out there not knowing who we're talking about Bray Wyatt, Wyndham Rotunda. Oftentimes we sit there and give a 10-bell salute. We basically just go 10 seconds without any sound at all because they deserve their moment of silence. And Tino, like I said, I'm shook. We've got my buddy Michael Turner out there saying, "How is everyone doing?" We've got Joe Lowe saying, "What's up?" Anybody who has paid attention in literally the last hour, and if you hear these bing bongs and everything else, there's different things going on.
You owe everybody in Barrett. That's Barrett.
We'll just, I just.
Well, that's us too.
No, well, it might actually. so yeah, I probably shouldn't do that. Shit. I'm not very often not able to talk, not able to speak, not able to say anything, whatever the case might be. But this, I mean, literally, I just happened to be somewhere where I was sitting next to one of our friends, and I mention it to him. I say it to him, and he goes, "There's no way." Then I looked at the source that told us that Wyndham Rotunda was no longer with us, and Chris Barrett said, "R.I.P. Terry Funk." The old desperado finally gets to head home and spend time with his wife. I'll miss you, Funker. And thank you, Chris Barrett. I 100% agree. He's going to Broadway's upstairs. But the Wyndham Rotunda one.
Mike Turner, just a number around it.
R.I.P. Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt. Triple H basically said he got off the phone with
IRS.
Mike Rotunda. Yes, IRS for those pro wrestling fans out there. And it hurts, dude. He was 36 years old.
I think the shock and awe is still with me. Like you said, he's 36. And, I was, me, when he first came back, I was like, he came back the last time and then he left again. I'm like, he's coming back. He was one of my favorite modern performers right now, whether it was, and I'm talking back when he was held back in FCW NXT when he had the Waylon Mercy outfit on with the Hawaiian shirt or the hat, and the Louisiana accent, man. He's brilliant. He's brilliant. He always could reinvent himself, to the Eater of Worlds, to the Fiend, the Firefly Funhouse. You know what I'm saying? It's just his, like you said, his mind, dude. And even if he didn't, I was looking forward, even if he didn't come back to active roster, put him behind the scenes and put that mind to work.
Well, specifically to think of how intriguing he was as a personality when The Undertaker came back at Raw 30. What did he do? They took out LA Knight, who right now is the shit.
Yes.
And at the same time, he grabbed Bray Wyatt, brought him in close, said something to him, and you just saw Bray go. And then he let him go, and the segment went to close. Yes. And everybody at that moment was sitting there going, what the fuck did The Undertaker say to Bray Wyatt? And The Undertaker had his 30 years. And what's even crazier, and folks, we'll get to what we normally talk about and everything else, but we were just talking about how Wyndham Rotunda started in 2009.
Yeah.
And in 2012,
that's when the Wyatt family.
11 years ago is when the Wyatt family actually started. Dude, that's not even a quarter of my life. It's not even a quarter of your that's less than 20% of your life. And it still blows my mind, by the way, because I think, okay, the Shield actually started in 2012, right? And you're like, holy shit, those are the three biggest names in pro wrestling, basically, right now. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Jon Moxley. And yet, somehow, we never stopped talking about Wyndham Rotunda. And some of it wasn't good. Hearing about him cheating on his wife, things like that, that's a regular daily occurrence in modern history with people. Like, people do that. When it comes to the wrestling personality, though, we all just sat there and went, this guy is a genius. He and you know what? It doesn't surprise me that this happened the same week that Terry Funk passed away, because when you look at Wyndham Rotunda, he probably was a modern day Terry Funk. All things considered, he could wrestle any style match. He got crazy when he needed to. But he really bit and jumped into the character that he was in those moments that they were having and everything else. And he really was a modern day Terry Funk.
Husky Harris.
Dude, even as Husky Harris.
Yeah, I just thought about that.
Like, he literally sat there in front of Vince McMahon and said, I'm built like a tank, but I have a Ferrari engine. And he wasn't wrong. We're not going to speculate on what it was, what caused his death, or anything else. If it comes up in an article over the next couple weeks, we will talk about that. The fact is that we know that there were medical issues when it came to Wyndham Rotunda. We know that there were medical issues, and that's why when they brought him back to the WWE, he had one match, and he wasn't able to go at WrestleMania. And they were apparently building towards his return at Payback, actually.
Yeah.
Like, he was supposed to come back next weekend. Like, is the rumor is that he was supposed to show back up. Tino and I have had our conversations off air. I'm not going to go into them about what we think it might be. We just really want to sit there and give our thoughts, our hopes. But more than anything else, we want to tell the family, the friends, the fans that we miss him too. You can say thoughts and prayers if you want to. I mean, like, I'm not a prayer guy. I'm not.
Yeah.
But we really hope that everybody that loved him one way or another feels like they understand that we're there with them, right?
Yeah.
Dude, this one hits me hard.
I know you.
And it shouldn't, because I was like, I was a fan, but I never sat there and said, oh, I'm going to buy a Bray Wyatt shirt, or I'm not going to do this and that. But, like, you were saying it earlier tonight, Brody Lee passed away a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago at this point, because it was like December 2021 or whatever. And that means that out of the Wyatt family, you have
Eric Rowan and Braun.
Braun Strowman and Eric Redbeard or Eric Rowan. And Braun Strowman's out with a neck injury. He's had neck surgery and everything else. So who knows when we'll hear from him. But Eric Redbeard, Eric Rowan, whatever you want to call him at this point. I mean, I would hope, based on the fact that when Brody Lee passed away, that they had Eric Rowan, Redbeard, come in and actually like wrestle a match, that Tony Khan might do the same thing again.
I'm wondering though, if they do that, will he go AEW or will he go back to WWE? Who's going to offer it first?
It's a really good question. I would think that because he's been established as Eric Redbeard on AEW, based on the fact that he showed up and they did a special thing for that, you would think that might be where it goes. But at the same time, because Bray Wyatt was such a staple in WWE, that there is a good possibility that if WWE decides to run a tribute show or whatever, then yeah, it's possible that he could show up. Otherwise, I could see them doing the beginning of the show thing and saying we're dedicating the show to him, and then doing like a video package on WWE. Again, I apologize, folks. I'm not normally this tongue-tied when it comes to speaking. Tino can attest for that. I just, this caught us off guard. This caught me specifically off guard. And as I go through these moments of high emotion, I am set to the side where I am not normally set. So with that said, how about we start our actual show? Are you cool with that?
Yeah.
So I already mentioned that we our show is, like the music and everything is from Adam's House Cat. But Tino, we unfortunately on the TikTok, I can't sit there and put up a little like blurb that says what we're talking about. But we always start the show with a little segment called "What's Up with You." So Tino, what's up with you?
I'm trying to think. When did last weekend? Last Saturday. Was it last Saturday I went to Hickory?
Probably.
Yeah, I think it was past actually last Saturday. I went to Hickory and had a good time there. The main thing this week is Matthew's birthday. It's this Saturday.
I'm waving hi to everybody out in the TikTok
land. So his birthday is this Saturday. So excuse me. Since he's playing Pop Warner. Since he's playing Pop Warner, they got a fucking game on his birthday. So
it's good stuff.
So what we're gonna do, what we did is we're like, what do you want to do for your birthday?
When's his birthday?
Saturday.
Jesus.
He's got to play football Saturday, so we're gonna do the party on Friday. So what he decided he wanted to do is we rented up. We got a hotel, the suite. He invited 3 of his friends, and they're just gonna go to the pool, hang out at a hotel.
Am I bringing some of this?
Go to the hotel.
He's 13, folks. I won't do that.
Have pizza and
13, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
14 is 14. What he will be. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's 13 now.
So we'll have pizza and cookies and cupcakes and all that stuff Friday, and then Saturday for his actual birthday, we'll see what he wants to do after the game. If he wants to have somebody over, it might just be a family thing. Don't know what we're doing, but he will have his birthday, and then Sunday, I have to DJ a thing for our church function from like 12:30 to 4 or something like that, which means I'll miss All Out or All In, whichever one it is.
All In is Sunday.
I'll miss it because I'll be DJing the church thing.
Yeah.
And other than that, that's what I got going on.
Yeah. So the All In. Obviously with the MJF versus Adam Cole main event.
That's what I was doing when you were talking earlier.
We're gonna talk a little bit about that, so I don't wanna break it down or anything at this moment.
Pull up the cards when you do predictions.
Folks, I want to go ahead and thank everybody on the TikTok who is following us. If you see, we do have a goal of 50 lightning bolts. If you want to help us out with that, that'd be awesome. At the same time, I see that people are sitting there saying hi, they're saying thank you, they're thrown off by the whole Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt passing away thing. So yes, we're right there with you. At the same time, Tino, I took a meeting yesterday that I'm really not allowed to talk about. But
okay,
and
so you mentioned it on the air.
Well, I'll mention it, but I won't talk about like the facts. But let's just say that there's a possibility I might be going to Orlando in January. At the same time, I did, however, work out a deal to make sure that both myself and KeenSpot, the publisher of my comics, gets represented at NC Comic-Con in November. Okay. So November 3rd and 4th, KeenSpot will have a booth. The reason why this is important is because KeenSpot NC Comic-Con is not doing Artist Alley tables. So the people that they're bringing as guests are the only people that will be there as guests.
Okay.
So myself and Keen Spot will be there as guests. I will be doing I'll be doing panels, I'll be doing signings, I'll be doing all that stuff. But specifically, we're not like the show is not having like the 200 artists that may or may not have a comic book out, right? So only the people that they invite really are going to be there.
Okay.
So it's a pretty big deal. At the same time, it's gonna be a pretty intimate Comic-Con, but it's gonna be a pretty big deal, right? So like the people that are gonna be there, Arthur Adams, who created Monkey Man and O'Brien, and obviously has had a 40-year career in comic books, is gonna be the main guest. Alex Maleev, who worked on Daredevil with Brian Michael Bendis, is going to be the second biggest name that's going to be at the show. Different people are going to be there, but I worked out a deal this week where I will be there.
Cool.
So and literally it's like 8 minutes down the road.
Where is it?
It's in Durham, the Durham Convention Center
Cool.
at the Marriott. So right next to the Durham Armory where we went to go see NXT. Yeah. So all of that will be there. I'll be on different. Rob Pochek is going to be the biggest name. No, not true, Chris Barrett. Thank you so much for saying so. This person, Smash Dibs, said we're a cute couple. Just so you know, on TikTok.
Wow.
Renee, I do want to say R.I.P. to Bray Wyatt.
I'm not thinking Nicole.
No. She knows that I'm hers. But regardless of all that, just want to go ahead and say that obviously lots of comic book work going on. Just talking with Daryl about one of the stories that we're working on. Michael Adams, who's working on Zor, has been sending me artwork. By the way, if you follow my Instagram, for every 50 follows, 50 likes on the artwork, Instagram, Rob Pochek is the name of it. For every 50 likes on the artwork that we've been posting, I will post more Zor artwork. So I think that's important. I think that's something that people should really jump into because it's fucking awesome.
Wow.
And you've seen it. Am I right?
Yeah. Go ahead.
What guy?
No, because you're still talking about that. Something else. Something that's comic related, kind
of. Is this the bacon?
Oh, did I tell you about reading shit out loud?
I stopped.
God.
I saw bacon. I was like, bacon. It says Bacon Review Podcast. No, this is not the Bacon Review Podcast. However, I do like bacon. Do you like bacon?
Yes, I like bacon. Just don't read shit out. Read it in your head.
I can't help it, man. I see it on the screen. I start reading it. And I
he's 80's kid in. So
yes, go ahead.
So I've been binge watching a new show. It's on Fox, The Gifted. You probably watched it.
This was the one that was like the X-Men related one, right?
Yeah.
And one of the main characters, the guy, was actually the guy from True Blood. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Interestingly enough, did you know that he is married in real life
to the chick from True Blood?
No. Well, maybe. To the one that plays Rogue in the X-Men movies.
I thought he was married to the chick that played a girlfriend in True Blood.
Might be the same person.
I'll have to look that up.
I think it actually is the same person. But anyway, yeah.
And two, I was watching Hills, and I'm looking, and I had to Google it.
Did you like the picture I sent you?
Which one?
Where I was watching the original Equalizer movie, and I was like,
oh yeah, Rooster.
I was like, that's Rooster from Heels.
So, but I was watching Hills, and I looked, and I Googled it. I'm like, I was right. Because I was going to text her. I'm like, no, I might be wrong. Motherfucking AJ Lee.
Yeah.
I was like, because she didn't look the same.
El Dorado.
She looked different, and I was like,
El Dorado is AJ Lee.
That's makeup. She was rough. She used to be cute back in there. She was rough.
No, she doesn't look rough. She looks like a 30-year-old woman.
She doesn't look the same. I mean, she doesn't look the same at all. I can't put my finger on it.
Well, but they're also trying to. So, folks, if you watch the show Heels with Stephen Amell and Kristen Berglund, I think is who plays Crystal.
I guess
in it. They started a women's division, and in that they brought in CM Punk's wife in real life, and he actually is the one that brought her in the show, like because he's Ricky Rabies.
I was reading too. Stephen Amell's like, thank God. He was joking. He was like, thank God AJ's here. He said, because Bill's a grouchy bastard. She keeps him grounded. But he was joking. It's like, no, it's good to have her here. And
But like when you see El Dorado show up, like the first thing she sits there and asks is, "Hey, do you have any Tylenol
or something?
Ibuprofen?"
But that wasn't the first time, because the first time you said she
right. She like you see Crystal mess up the move once or twice, but then they're backstage and Elle sits there and asks her for ibuprofen, and Crystal's like, yeah, sure, here's a bottle, like, and she goes, just take some before, take some after. She goes, oh no, these are all before.
I think was a nice touch, and it really did say, okay, that's AJ, the knee-high Converses.
Absolutely.
Knee-high.
Absolutely.
And then she got in there and she did something older, like she skipped around and put the hands behind her back. I'm like, yeah, that's AJ.
The character really played out well.
Yes. I enjoyed the character,
and I even like the fact that like Crystal's sitting there saying, "Hey, let's do whatever we can to continue this on, so that you can continue to be here, rather than you're just a flash in the pan. I beat you and blah blah blah," which was great.
And one more thing I do want to say, and
go ahead,
I'm sorry if you guys haven't watched Hills. It's been out a week. You should have watched it by now.
I tried to watch the new episode today and it wasn't up yet.
So are we hearkening back to our Arrow days? The fuck's wrong with Ace? Tell me that didn't scream Arrow.
It was Sting.
No, it might have been Sting, but it was Arrow. He had the hood. He had the little thing under his eyes. He had the voice.
But it was Sting. I mean, he even rode the damn.
Yeah, I knew what he was trying to be, but I'm saying at the end where they pan in his face, I'm like, that motherfucker looks like Arrow. I'm like, damn, Stephen Amell.
I thought it was funny that we knew who it was, and it just took them and even with the I'm the one who blah blah blah. Like you're like, that's fucking Ace's voice. That's Ace. Like what the fuck is it? Like, how does nobody know who that is, right?
And what kind of too, it threw me off. Okay, so they've already scripted this whole thing. So he came in, they weren't part of the script, so he's throwing punches and kicks. How did they know to play along with it? How do they know it's not a what the fuck is going on?
Thank you, Cold Alpha, for hitting us with the 50+ lightning bolts.
What that means, but all right.
We hit he hit 57 lightning bolts.
So that's it. Goal achieved.
Goal achieved. Thank you, sir. We're gonna hit the OK button there.
All right. So that's all I wanted to say about that. So
I enjoyed the episode.
I did enjoy it. I can't wait till tomorrow.
I am still shocked that we're already almost halfway through the season. It's only 10 episodes.
That was
Episode 4.
so. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, tomorrow is episode 5. And that's if they actually launch it tomorrow because I didn't see episode 4 show up until Sunday on my screen.
I didn't even look for it because I've been so fucking busy. But
Yeah, so anything else going on with you?
nope. The Gift It's a good show, and I'm enjoying it. So yeah.
I'm trying to think. Is there anything else that I watched recently? I am watching Billions,
Yeah.
which I absolutely adore, and episode I think 3 of the final season happens tomorrow, so I will watch that. I've been writing a lot.
All right.
A lot. And I want people to realize that I'm not just writing on like that, what I would call the simple level of what I was doing with junior high horrors. I'm writing on a different level, dude. Cool. Like the things that you've read, that I've sent to you, that I've been like, hey, check this out.
Yeah.
What do you think? It's not just, oh, this character does this and this character does this and everything.
Nah, yeah.
It's
fleshed out.
It's not just even fleshed out. It's these characters have feelings. You feel them. Like when you read the books and you read the story I'm writing for Daryl. I said to him yesterday. I said, hey. Because he messaged me and he's like, hey, when are you going to get me the whole script? And I'm like, do you need the whole script or do you want me to just send you over the plot so that I can script it based on the artwork that you do? And he's like, well, I'd really rather a full script. And I'm like, I can do that. But let me just tell you, when I see the artwork, I'm able to really sit there and like nail it, right?
Right.
And he was like, oh. So you want me to start drawing all the page? And I'm like, yes. Yeah. And he's like, I got you. I can do that. And then he just sent me a thumbs up emoji. And I'm like, this book's going to be special, you know? And the things I'm writing recently, like they're on they're not, anybody can read them, but I feel like people are going to get something extra out of them, which really makes me sit there and makes me happy.
And I see. Here's the thing. And I told you this.
Sure. I want to hear this. These people want to hear this.
I remember when you started writing the
Pirate's favorite letter is R.
The newer one. I don't want to, because I don't remember if you talked about
Mr. Helios is in the audience. What's up, T?
The one that you and Sarah were doing, that story that you started writing.
Well, that's what Daryl is drawing the prequel of.
And that's what I'm saying. But you were like, oh, I don't know if I can do it. And I kept telling you, you got to branch out. Remember, you were doubting yourself then because you're like, it's got all these different, it's not just funny. And that's what you're used to. Like you said, and with the junior high horrors, you just did funny. Now you get in a more serious, some darker.
That's not even that book, by the way, though.
But you know what book I'm talking about.
So, for everyone out there, he's talking about my superhero epic.
Yes. And you're like, you didn't know if you could do it. I'm like, you can do it.
And I am.
Yep. I get them confused.
But there's still another one out there that I'm going, I don't know if I can write this. Because I want it written as a novel first. And I'm not a novel writer.
Like a graphic novel?
No, like a novel. Like 600-page, like Stephen King book, like leading up to this kind of thing. And I do. I still have this idea. And it blows my mind for how big the idea is. Okay?
You can write it. Why don't you think you can write it?
Because I'm not a novelist. I don't want to write a novel. I get bored writing a novel. Well, and with one of the other titles, that's one of the things that I've been pondering and playing with and whatever. But the this one is like the post-apocalyptic story that I've got, right? Mm-hmm. And I am not the right person to write the whole thing. Can I help somebody come up with all the ideas? 100%. I can more than 100%. I can absolutely give the ideas for where this book goes. But can I write all, like, because we're talking about a world of characters, not just a town, not just a city, not just a state, a world of characters that would have to be okay. So did you ever see the movie with Tom Cruise called War of the Worlds?
Yes.
It's absolutely fucking terrible.
Yes.
But the reason why is because War of the Worlds was War of the fucking Worlds.
Yeah.
Not War of Tom Cruise running through New York City.
Not War of Scientology.
There you go. Absolutely. Is this funny now that 19 people just stopping there?
Stop reading shit out loud.
I can't help it. But most of these people will disappear at some point regardless. But War of the World. No, I didn't say anything that would. I did not, did I?
No, you.
I stopped reading as I got to the point where I'm like, nope, not doing that. So, War of the Worlds, if written correctly, would be a story of all of these people. And you probably have to do seasons of a TV show to finally build up to what actually. That's not what I'm built for. I'm built for, here's the action.
All right.
And let's do that, right? So, could I write the comic book adaptation of? Absolutely, because I'd be able to go, we're taking this. But can I, and it's even my idea.
Why couldn't you do it? You know how the comic books have like the graphic?
Yeah.
Is that still too much for you?
So the graphic novel is what the overall aspect of what you're going to get is. This is so much bigger.
Okay.
It literally, like I was talking to a novelist buddy of mine, and he was like, "Oh, dude, I'd write 3 or 4 books before we got to your graphic novel." And I'm like, do it, fucking do it. Like I'll sit there and chime in. I'll read your notes and everything, but fucking do it. You know, and he's like,
no.
Oh, we could do that. That'd be great. And then he started writing for public office. So he hasn't been writing for 2 years now. and you know what? He's got a bigger thing on his plate right now. Yeah. My buddy Jeremy Rodden, truly hope he wins his thing because just this week I saw an Instagram post with him, and obviously we haven't even gotten into pro wrestling yet, besides what we talked about. But he posted this thing because legally they have to show where all the money that they're getting donated to them for their campaigns comes from. So he said, when people ask why they should vote for me over voting for this other guy, I sit there and send them this webpage, which shows where all of their money's coming from and who he's working for. And I was like, God damn. Because, I mean, like, there is no other... You don't need... That literally was a mic drop. It was $12,000 from beer distributors, $10,000 from wine people, $12,000 from this company, $12,000 from this guy. And my buddy Jeremy had $3,200 in donations, and they were all from people. So when you say, am I working for the people or am I working for the establishment? Jeremy was able to absolutely show that the people were benefiting from him, whereas his opponent, everything was the establishment. Pretty fucking crazy. Now, with that said, folks, we're going to do what we always do on this show, and we're going to pivot to pro wrestling.
I look to see if, but it's not.
What?
It's not.
What's not?
I was trying to see if the new one popped up yet.
The new heels? No, it'll be up at midnight.
I won't be here. I was going to say, hey, if it popped up early.
You won't be here at that point, but by the time you get home, it probably pop up.
And how tired I am, I might watch it because that damn last week.
What's so funny, folks, is like the last 2 episodes, like he's been like, yeah, I'm not watching it before, blah, blah, blah. And I go to watch it, and it's already like halfway done. And I'm like, that son of a bitch started watching that thing.
And I fall asleep on it. I got to get up in the morning and rewind it. So SmackDown. All right, let me get to the. Oh, fuck you. Okay, there it is.
No, fuck you too.
No, I was talking about. Did I send you? I don't think I did. Did I send you the TikTok where somebody's backstage doing the rock paper scissors with the with the Raw Superstars?
What now?
Somebody was doing rock paper scissors with the Raw Superstars, and the first one they got was Rhea Ripley, and then they did the rock paper, and he beat her, and she went so defeated. He finally at the end he did it with a Piper. He's like rock paper scissors, and he beat her, and she just looked at him. He goes, so I think like he was.
So he was like, no, you win.
She was like, I forget what she was. Like, she was rock, and he was like paper or something stupid, or she was paper. And she just stared at him, and he changed whatever it is so she could win. I'm going to find it. I thought I sent it to you. It was hilarious.
That's funny. No, you did not send that one to me.
All right. So,
Smack-a-down. Friday night.
The Grayson Waller effect
with Rey Mysterio
and Santos.
Yes,
and so of course he got to the point where he was all complimentary. Then he tried to turn Santos and Rey against each other, and then for some reason, L.A. Knight.
That's a terrible impression of that, by the way. That's a terrible impression of
that. But he came down to talk shit.
He popped me on that one, folks. Someone want to cut that.
So we might want to do that. But he put that up again because that was funny. So it sounded just like what was in my head.
Yeah, it still was wrong.
Whatever that guitar shit does. So LA Knight comes down. He pretty much challenges Ray. For the U.S. strap, and then here comes the
judge.
Here comes the Miz, and he's like, "No, you don't get that." Blah 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 blah. So he gets whatever. He gets his wish.
Yes.
For later on in the evening.
Yes.
Darren Pierce says, "Okay."
Yeah.
Then all night they're doing because it's Edge's 25th, so they're doing all the different flashbacks to Edge, and then they had this one. When he was in the audience, when Bret Hart was in Canada.
So what do you think about doing a wrestling match? And yeah. Yeah.
So then we got LA Knight and Austin Theory. No, Theory came down. It wasn't Miz. Theory came down and says, no, I should be the one.
No.
So it's LA Knight, Austin Theory. This was for whoever wins this gets the shot at Ray.
Right.
Miz comes down and he gets LA Knight distracted, which lets Theory win. So my question
So
is,
once again,
he's nowhere near a belt.
no, LA Knight.
That's what I meant. LA Knight's nowhere near a belt.
So what's the question?
Is Theory going to get this belt back again, or is he? Because they kind of painted themselves in a corner with Ray.
No, I think this is still building towards Santos getting frustrated with Ray and winning the belt that way. I could see LA Knight beating him, but LA Knight's so over babyface that I don't see that being the case.
How long do we keep LA from a belt? And when he does finally get a belt, which belt does he get?
I mean, does LA need a belt?
Well, the fans are pushing.
But does he need one?
Not yet.
Yeah, so
next we got Io Sky and Bailey with Dakota against Bianca and Charlotte. Yeah. Why? You don't like that much?
It's boring.
Bianca and Charlotte win.
Yep.
Damage Control attacks Bianca Belair during an interview. Bailey wraps a chair around her leg. So is she out?
Who?
Because usually when they do that, they're
Which one had the chair?
So they put on Bianca's knee. They put a chair, and then Bailey waxed the.
They've been trying to sell Bianca as injured since SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure she's out for a little bit.
Dude, the Street Profits and the OC.
You mean the Suit Profits?
I don't know, man, but that match.
Suit Profits.
That match.
I'm listening.
Chef's kiss. That match was the Street Profits. You remember? There are a lot of, I call them comedy acts.
Yeah.
And like we also New Day and then the Alpha Academy.
LA Knight.
The Street Profits were.
You did.
You
were like, LA Knight. Damn it.
Street Profits were. They've got a killer instinct now. I don't think they're going to be funny haha anymore.
Well, they're not the Street Profits anymore. They're the Suit Profits.
Shut up. But they're not going to be funny haha anymore.
Suit Profits. Continue.
So they interview the Wise Man.
The Wise Man.
Then we finally get Edge and Sheamus.
Yes. Now, in actuality, the show didn't feel very long. It's a 2-hour program.
Well, a lot of it was filler with Edge stuff.
Yeah. And
which is more than appropriate. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Saying,
25th anniversary of Edge in Toronto, his hometown. Absolutely went over as well as expected. In fact, after the match, which ended with him beating Sheamus, which, I mean, like, normally in a match like this, Sheamus would have gotten the win.
I think that A, they were in Toronto. B, this was his.
But Edge is an old school guy. And what do you do at the end of your career when you have no more matches left on your ticket?
Well, normally you think you would pass the torch, but remember he even said they showed it after and he said it on Twitter. I think I sent you
I sent it to you actually.
The X, no, I saw it. I think I sent it to you. I saw it before you sent it.
I think I sent it to him, guys.
What the fuck ever? On X. Jesus fucking Christ. On
Is
X,
it really that big of a deal?
Apparently to you is.
Oh,
I get it. But anyway, he's got the extension in his inbox. He hadn't even answered it yet, so we don't know if he's finished or not.
He had to drink his coffee first.
Yeah, so we don't know if he's finished or not.
Well, I mean, okay. So what Tino's talking about is how Wrestling Observer and Dave Meltzer and Ross Sapp and all these other people are talking about how Edge apparently gave That's all over me.
I'll go get a towel. Yeah, that's all over me.
Because it is.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's all right.
It.
Amazingly, it's not the first time I've had soda poured on me. But but when we talk about the wrestling side of this, not just Rob getting soda poured all over him, that the rumor is that Edge gave WWE specific conditions for what he wanted on his next contract. And the other side of the rumor was that WWE just flat out rejected these contract negotiations. Now, last week, Tino and I specifically talked about how the WWE had pretty much made concessions to every single thing that Edge had asked for. Am I right?
Yeah.
So the idea that these...
You need more?
I'm just trying to pad it out real quick. Here you go. Here you go. So from that point, all of their statements about how he probably made contract demands, I don't believe that would have ever been the case. I think he would have said, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I want. What do you guys think? And they probably said, we're not ready to sign a deal, but we will send our counter offer to you and you can make a decision. Now, his contract with WWE is not up until the end of September, which means they still have time to negotiate. And they have a
what do you think the odds are, the possibility that he will go to AEW to be with Christian?
So him going with Christian?
Well, you know what I mean.
But hold on. The way that the character is built with Christian Cage right now does not make sense.
Yeah.
And it would have to be something like what we discussed last week, which would be him going to Christian Cage and saying, get your head out of your ass.
When I say to be with Christian, I meant to be in the same company. I don't mean to be Edge and Christian again. I mean
no. But the rumor is that he does want one more run with his best friend as tag team champions. And if they're going to get to that, he'd have to go in there, show up after Christian Cage is holding up like the TNT championship or whatever, and legitimately grab a microphone and be like, get your head out of your ass. Stop being a dick. Let's go after the tag team championships like we should. And Christian's sitting there saying, I'll think about it, blah, 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 whatever. Then all of a sudden, like, Edge has a match. Edge gets beat down by the heels. Christian would have to run down, make the save, and basically, like, give up on 2 years worth of storytelling of the character that he is right now. Would he do it for Edge? Absolutely. Because ultimately, it'd be the better story. Would he do it for any other reason? Not in your goddamn life. Because Christian is more over right now than he has been since he spit in Randy Orton's face.
Wow. Forgot about that.
Tell me I'm wrong. He wasn't this over when he walked into TNA and stole the championship.
Possibly this probably is his better run.
This is, I mean, and he is so much better than anybody else at doing it.
I'm trying to think if even his peep show when he first came out with that in WWE.
But I'm gonna tell you. Let's say Edge, Adam Copeland, walks in to AEW and sits there and gives this whole diatribe as to why Christian Cage needs to just be a good guy again, right? I bet
Don't you have a dead dad?
that after
You're my brother's mom.
Edge and him win the tag team belts,
Turns on.
if I were him, I would turn on him that night. I'd win the belts. I'd hit him with one of the belts, and then I'd hold both belts up and say, "I'm the tag team champion."
See, there you go, the WWE shit again.
No, not even the Daniel Bryan Kane thing. I literally think that he sits there, he holds the belts up. Luchasaurus walks out. Luchasaurus sits there, gives him a power bomb or whatever, and the two of them take the tag team belts, and that leads to a final match between Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, which after Adam Copeland wins, he sits there and he says, "I'm done. I'm retiring. I took care of this problem, and I'm going away." And I could see that. So again, not a WWE story, but an actual story to make Jay Rizzo go away.
All right.
Fair?
Collision.
Okay. AEW
Which
Collision.
I don't like the way they came about it, but they finally got the match they were looking for. You know what I'm talking about. The first match of the night.
You mean Golden Vampire?
First match of the night, Joe comes out to the ring. He's going to defend his ROH television championship.
Because he is the king of all television.
And the Golden Vampire is already in the ring. His fucking outfit is like he's fucking 5X on a damn dude. He only needs to be wearing a 1X. It's too fucking big. He fucking attacks Joe, hits him with the GTS and unmasks and a CM Punk, and he goes, "Challenge accepted, bitch," and he walks out the ring.
So what you're saying is he sounded like Tay Mello.
I don't know what the fuck he did. But I mean, it's just, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hit play on that, but
There it is right there.
yes.
Challenge accepted, bitch.
And so now we got the
real world champion. Sorry.
That's what I was going to say. The real world champion. So Joe wins that belt, and then what?
Joe's not going to win that belt.
I know. I'm saying.
Okay.
Anyway. Okay. Jay White defeated Dalton Castle. What'd you think of that match?
It was fun. I enjoyed it. I don't like Dalton Castle's, like, the whole... I like Dalton Castle. I thought that as a odd, trippy champion, he worked really well in Ring of Honor. He does not work at all in AEW. Agreed?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they had the guns, Juice Robinson torturing poor Tony Schiavone in the middle of a ring in an interview segment.
I liked how they kept grabbing his head and putting a gun finger out.
That's what I'm talking about. He just kept looking at him like, son of a bitch.
For those out there that didn't know, Tony Schiavone is not a gun club fan, but
it was funny. All right, so then that brings out the Iron Side.
Our friends of the Comic Corps mentioned that Edge made a video that you talked about, and that I kind of talked about when I said he needed his coffee, discussing how everybody's statement of his contract demands were blown out of proportion, and he just hasn't read the contract yet because he's taking time. So thank you, Chad, for that statement.
Yeah, because he said that it was when he had to retire because of his injury. That was one thing. He said, but now that he gets to do it on his own terms, it's a different story. It's a little harder for him.
Correct.
All right. So Video package plays highlighting the story between the Acclaim and Billy Gunn in the House of Black, which pays off, I guess,
On Dynamite,
on Dynamite.
apparently.
We'll talk about that. What kind of faction is Roos planning for AEW Collision?
What kind of faction?
Yeah, because remember he called all the he was yelling at the guys.
One that I don't care about at all.
Yeah, he made them. He said, "Come down to Mexico," and they got to Mexico and they put the black hoods on them and kidnapped them. So we're waiting to see what happens there. Tony Schiavone is interviewing Ricky Starks. He says his clarification is only 28 days. He's only served half of it, and he's going to manage. He's managing Big Bill now. What's up?
Chris Barrett actually said something funny. He said, "Rob, you weren't screechy enough to be Tay Mello."
That's a fact.
It made me laugh. That was a good
That's
one.
a fact. So of course, Big Bill defeats this dude, and then after that, Ricky Starks decides he's going to whip him with a belt too. I think they're going to have a what do you call it?
A strap match?
Yeah, but I don't know with who though.
I mean, at this point, it probably will be.
Don't say Dragon.
I don't want to say the Dragon, but I think it will.
Oh, you know, it might be his son. His son.
No,
Deuce.
no. He stopped wrestling.
Well, he might come back. You whip my daddy with a belt, but
I mean, maybe, but I doubt it.
video. Okay, so you know, they did a video package with FTR and Young Bucks, which they were like, FTR will be here this evening. I'm like, will they though?
Hold on.
Did you TV? I'm like, will they though?
Did you see that video that I sent like to you that the dude looked like Cash Wheeler and his wife kept shooting stuff on the
That
car.
was hysterical.
And I was like, no wonder the dude pulled the gun out.
That was so funny. I laughed at that.
On that video, I literally thought it was him at the beginning.
No.
And then I was like, okay, it's not him, but I could totally see why.
Tony Storm's talking about her, you know, she's gonna tag with.
She threw a shoe.
Yeah, she threw the shoe. That was fucking hilarious.
Dude, the fact that girl's gotten out of the way 2 weeks in a row, one of these weeks she's gonna catch one in the face.
Yeah, she threw the shoe and she just kind of went. I was like,
this week she did.
Yeah.
Last week she was like, you know, but like, yeah, she's gonna catch one in the grill.
face, yeah.
Yeah.
Miro and Powerhouse Hobbs will collide it all out. And
All out or all in?
This says all out. So they've got. So you've been.
So they finally announced the match.
You've been wondering where Miro was, and I guess they didn't have anybody. I want to see that match.
I'm okay with that match. That match sounds like a solid match. Yes.
I want
yes.
to see that match.
I want to see a back or a parking lot brawl between the two of them.
Something.
I want to see. I want to
like-
see those two big bastards throwing people into cars.
I like that. So you know, Hobbs came out. He had his match. He beat the dude. He was calling Miro. Miro wouldn't come. So then he used Miro's finishing move on the dude, and that's when Miro came up on the big screen.
V78. Just so you know, I totally understand what you're trying to say there, and no, it's a really bad statement.
Okay. All right. Jim Ross joins the broadcast for the main event, which is Darby Allin against Christian Cage.
By the way, when he joined, didn't he sit there? Oh, wait, no, that was last week when he joined and he was like, I signed Edge and Christian to contract. That was last week. Yeah. This week, he just sounded like he was a little bit lost. Unfortunately, I love JR.
So Darby Allin beat Christian. Okay.
But no. It was this week because whoever Ian Riccoboni was sitting there talking about Christian and saying that and the match was great.
Yeah.
First of all, Christian Cage wearing the damn. I know you don't like it, but him wearing the fucking
turtleneck.
That turtleneck is so good. It makes him more of a heel just by wearing it than he has ever been in his entire
I
career.
don't understand why a turtleneck is just so over.
It's so good. And you hear the crowd sitting there going, turtleneck, turtleneck. And they're cheering for him with the turtleneck, and yet they hate it. It was a good match. Him and Darby. And you know my feelings about Darby Allin. I to this day, I still sit there and go, how is a guy that's 126 pounds soaking wet able to win these matches? And he rolled up Christian Cage.
Yep.
Which, by the way, is the most unbelievable or non-believable possible outcome of a Darby Allin match against a guy who weighs 100 pounds more than him.
You get leverage on him, I suppose you just wrap him up.
Dude weighs 126 pounds, Tino. He's not going to get leverage. He said he was 126 pounds. But again, this is where the suspension of disbelief for me comes into question. Like,
so okay. How much does Ray weigh? We had this discussion. How much does Ray weigh? So when he was
wait.
when he was the giant killer,
wait.
when he was a giant killer,
Say it again.
when he was a giant killer.
Why do you feel the need to? And I like how you're covering yourself up with a damn pillow to prevent it.
When he
Say it. Ray weigh.
How much does Ray weigh?
There you go. Come on.
I'm gonna chop you. But
No,
anyway,
you already punched me.
anyway,
Folks, he legitimately punched too. It wasn't whatever.
But anyway, why do we believe that Rey Mysterio
I'm listening.
that can beat people bigger than him, but Darby Allin can't?
I didn't say that.
Because Ray.
No. I did not say that.
More than 100 pounds heavier than him.
I said that I did not believe that Darby Allin could beat Christian with a roll-up.
Ray beats people with roll up.
No, he does not. When Ray wins those matches, Ray wins after the over-the-top thing and then the 619.
He's beat Eddie Guerrero with the base.
Eddie Guerrero was 170 pounds.
Who does? He beat somebody else bigger with a schoolgirl. He's done the schoolgirls.
I'm sure he has.
Okay, then. So how come we can believe it's Ray, but Darby can't?
But every match that Darby has is that. Darby doesn't seem to win anybody after a coffin drop anymore. Because ever since Samoa Joe caught him in the middle of it, he hasn't been able to use it. In fact, during this match, he jumped off the top rope into a coffin drop and Luchasaurus just caught him. Literally caught him. Not even fell over or anything. Caught him and said, yeah, you're done. Am I wrong?
No.
So the idea that Christian Cage was winning this entire match and then loses with a roll-up from a guy who cannot legitimately get enough weight to hold a man down who's twice his size, it's not gonna happen, bro. Like, you know me. I am totally about suspension of disbelief for pro wrestling. I am. But there comes a moment where Darby Allin has to do something unbelievable to win these matches because that's what Rey Mysterio does. That's what Rey Mysterio does.
Trying to think of the small wrestlers. Now you piss me off. Billy Kidman.
What about him?
He rolls people up bigger than him too.
Yeah, but Billy Kidman hasn't wrestled in 20 years. And by the way, he wrestled. Hold on, he wrestled for WCW, which is a defunct company.
Okay, it doesn't matter. My point is, he rolled up guys bigger than him.
Who?
Fucking he fucking cradled Hogan at one point. That's how he surprised Hogan with a fucking cradle. Yes. So I'm just saying.
My point to you again is that when it comes to AEW, there's rumor that Keith Lee walked out, right?
That's because he thought he wasn't needed.
I agree. I'm believing the story that he left when he got told you're not being used on Dynamite. Then all of a sudden he left, and they were like, "Hey, where's Keith Lee? He's supposed to be on Rampage." What? Okay, first of all, I believe you, except for the fact that the same thing I've been saying all along when it comes to Keith Lee. Keith Lee gets rolled up by a guy like Darby Allin every week on AEW television. 130-pound dude rolling up a 300-pound motherfucker. I would walk out too. I'd be like, there is no way my character, who should be looked at as a big man, gets beat up like that. And we've had that conversation.
And then he gets that check from Tony. He goes, oh.
Well, except for the fact that he got that check from Tony and he was like, I'm going home. Because he did, right? So we could talk about like all that, whatever. But again, I just want to point out that there's no way that 120-pound dude should ever be able to roll up and hold him down for long enough to get the 3 count. It's not believable.
Raw. I'm trying to, because
no,
like we're out.
No, let's do it. Let's go to Raw. Monday Night Raw.
Sammy came out.
Yes.
And I was reading this too. They said Sammy is over and gets a pop everywhere, but when he goes to Canada.
Well, this wasn't just Canada. This was Quebec.
Yes. So his hometown. And he's
from Montreal.
Oh, it's in Montreal.
This is Quebec City.
Okay.
So it is in Montreal, the bigger, but where they were in February was his hometown.
Gotcha. Okay.
This, and by the way, this is why he said somebody else is coming back tonight.
What? No, just wait.
But let's go ahead.
So he's out in the middle of the ring. He's, I don't think he really got into his promo good before the Judgment Day came out, and he's still talking. They're like, "So, you're out here all alone? Why are you out here all alone?" He goes,
"Who said I'm alone?"
And then, yeah, and he got the fucking pop. Now, my favorite part of that was he came running down the ring. Who's the first one to meet him up the ramp?
Well, it was no.
If I can't do the damn LA Night, you can.
What was the meow? That's the sound.
You sound like a damn drowning cat.
Meow. Yeah,
So
it does sound like a drowning cat.
So
but yeah, Dominic is the first one who catches a fist, and then of course he says, now that we're both here, why don't you all figure out?
Yeah, he's like, I haven't had a fight on Raw
in a while.
Yeah.
Why don't you figure out which 2 of the 4 of you are going to face us? And of course, all night long, we hear, well, I think it should be me and Dom. No, I think it should be me and Dom. Well, and then Rhea's like, if you 2 don't figure out who's going to wrestle this match, I'm going to figure it out for the 2 of you. And, I wouldn't have been surprised if at the end of the night, if they won the match. But they did. Yeah. But go ahead.
New Day versus Riddle and McIntyre.
Did you see the Mentos commercial? So, folks, there was this amazing moment in the match where both Kofi and Xavier are outside the ring, and Riddle comes up and hugs McIntyre, and McIntyre just takes him and throws him over his head.
And the whole time they're playing this Mentos song.
Well, no. Oh. So on Raw, that's what happened.
Yeah.
But I sent Tino a version of it where it was Mentos Fresher, and like he literally grabs him and throws him over, and it's like Mentos, the fresh maker, and they both go like this, and I'm like, oh shit, that's so perfect.
Funny.
It was hilarious.
New Day won. The Raiders came out and attacked.
Is this leading to McIntyre going heel?
Because it's like, give me one more match. And because backstage, New Day was hyping them up. Yeah, we even got a name for you. It's like the Mac Muffin or some shit they said. The McGriddle, whatever they said. That's what it was. The McGriddle. You all right? That's what they said. Did you not see that?
I did not.
Yeah, they could. The McGriddle. We got a new name for you. The McGriddle.
The McGriddle.
I'm laughing at you. I thought you didn't see that. They call him the McGriddle. They call him the McGriddle. Anyway, sorry. Pull yourself together, man.
I'm back. We're good. Okay.
Next, we had the
McGriddle.
the Gunther and Chad Gable match, which we said I can see somehow it getting into a disqualification, time something to where they let Gunther beat that record, have a rematch, and then Gable beats him.
The question, though, is that the pay-per-view, the premium live event, is 3 days before the record.
Maybe they have another.
I don't think they let Gable win it.
Not the pay-per-view. Maybe that Raw.
I see Gable, if Gable's going to... I still... Okay. We know that someone from WWE watches our shit. We know it. They have. We have called it out on multiple occasions. Hell, Cody Rhodes specifically saying that JD McDonough is a Funko Pop because of how big his fucking head is based on something that I said the last 3 weeks. Am I wrong? So, I think this may be leading to Gunther winning against Chad Gable, but Chad Gable still getting his push from it to where Gunther ends up going against Seth Rollins for the world title before he loses the Intercontinental belt and then relinquishes the Intercontinental belt, which then gets won by Chad Gable. That means nobody loses except for Seth Rollins, which is okay because everyone's okay with Seth Rollins losing a match. Am I wrong?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Wendy, Rhea Ripley, and Candice LeRae.
Candice LeRae. I would have been happier if this match ended with a Johnny Gargano beating up Dominic Mysterio.
Which is what I thought was going to happen, but Raquel came down.
And in Canada decided to speak Spanish, which did not go over well.
Yeah.
Anyways.
The Miz versus Akira Tozawa. So Miz is in the ring. He's like, yeah, talking shit about other night. So he decided he was going to bring out somebody that was bigger and badder and stronger and blah, blah, blah than LA Knight. And he announces Akira
Tozawa, yeah.
Which, of course, he won the match. But Knight came after LA Knight was down there and distracted him after the match, Knight got in and hit him with his finisher, blunt force trauma.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Then we got Piper Niven and Chelsea Green versus Kaden Carter and Katana. Why are we laughing?
Because I just love that tag team.
That is funny.
Because Chelsea Green backstage was sitting there like, yeah, we're gonna do that, and all of a sudden Piper just like walked off.
Like, nope.
It's like great. Like she's no nonsense. It's I'm your tag team partner. I'm the champion now. Shut up. Walk to the ring. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Cody and Sammy, Kevin and Cody.
Well, this started as a tag team match.
Yes.
Let's start where it started. It was KO and Sammy versus Damian Priest and Finn Balor. And KO got disqualified when he hit somebody with the chair. And then he looked at the referee and he said, "It's his fault."
Well, it was because he was going to hit him. He was going to hit him.
He still hit him though. And then all of a sudden the Judgment Day came down. They wanted to beat down all of them, and KO got body slammed by Rhea Ripley.
Yeah,
which was an impressive feat. I'm gonna say right now. So then from there, folks, what Tino's talking about is Dominic came down, Cody Rhodes came down, and they started a 6-man tag match. Which ended Raw, and the good guys won.
Yes.
When the good guys won, however, did you notice how beat up KO looked at the end?
Yes.
Like I think if I had to guess, he sat there and said, "Hey, I can do this match in front of my hometown crowd." But it hurts. And he gave a performance. I mean, he got the win. He was the one that gave the stunner. Dominic actually gave a pretty good stunner. Mm-hmm. Not one of these shitty stunners that, like some people have been doing recently. And he pins him 1, 2, 3. But everybody had to walk up to KO to be like, "Are you good?"
Yes.
And I'm worried about that because I really do think that now. I don't know if it means he's going to be out longer or what the deal is. I just think that he's going to be out for a while. And it's nice that he came back to do this match so that way they could say, "Hey, we're still the tag team champions," and blah, blah, blah. But he looked hurt, man. He looked like he had trouble breathing. Yeah. And with a broken rib, you have trouble breathing.
Yeah. So like you said, I think that's why no, because he worked the tag match.
He worked the whole damn match.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's why they put the 6-man protect him. No,
he did the damn senton. He jumped out of the ring. He got hit by someone outside the ring. He took a beating. Yeah. He wasn't the big beating. Sammy, I think, was the big beating during the match. But overall, it's like I don't like seeing one of my favorite guys do that. Now, granted, I really do think it's because they said, "Hey, this is the last time we're going to Canada for like 6-7 months," and he was like, "I am going to work that show." Because if you remember the Montreal show in February, he wasn't on the show, and he showed up at the end to prevent Sammy from getting his ass beat. So he came out and he got the big pop, but he didn't wrestle. He didn't. So when he sat there and said, "It's been a while since I've been on Raw and I've wrestled on Raw," I think he really meant,
wrestle in Canada.
Hey, this is the first time in a long time I've actually been in a possibility of a match in Montreal.
Yeah,
and that's why when they dropped like the French Canadian like speaking and everything else, Like, the crowd ate it up.
Yeah.
But it didn't look like it worked to his benefit. Long term. That night, obviously, biggest pop of the night, right? And I think KO's pop was bigger than Sammy's, which had not happened in a long time. You know, and when they came out together, KO came out first, and then Sammy's music hit. Sammy's pop was bigger. But at the beginning of the night, when Sammy said, "You think I came to Montreal by myself?"
Yeah.
When that pop hit, that was the biggest pop of the night. You know what I mean? So, anyways,
All right.
what's up next?
There's only the heat wave. There's only really two things I really want to talk about. Heat wave, really. A couple things.
Okay, NXT Heat Wave, folks.
They showed Trick was in the back with Mello.
Yes.
And Mello was like, yeah. He goes, I want to do this thing with
I can do it myself.
He goes, this last time with Alien, you came down, it was an asterisk, and then Trick was kind of like, you trying to blame me for that? I was like, oh fuck. And then Mello was like, no. And seems smooth, and Trick's like, okay. But when he grabbed that belt to hand it to Mello, I'm thinking he's gonna turn on him. The match with Dragunov, it's a fucking banger. What you think of that match?
It was a banger.
I loved the match. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good showing for Trick. He did better than I thought he would.
Now let me ask you: did Dragunov carry him to a banger?
He did carry him, but he kept up with Dragunov. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Dragunov did carry him.
He hit his spots.
Yes, he kept up with him. So
yes,
I thoroughly enjoyed that match.
Agreed.
The next match I want to talk about is, and only because the Ivy Now and Ava match. Yeah, of course.
Folks, I was like this.
So Ivy and Mr. Ed wrestle, and then
you mean Mr. Rock,
Mr. Ed,
Mrs. Rock, Miss Rock.
So I thought it was interesting. I knew when she got carried off who that was. We knew who that was that carried her off. It was Creed's. So and then they took him outside to the tree and they unmasked and they're like, yeah, we want another match with you next week to get our. Now I thought when they lost that Loser Leaves Town, I thought they were getting called up.
That's what we all thought.
But apparently not. So are they not done, or are they just because they're not?
WWE does SmackDown doesn't have room for them yet.
But they are main roster ready.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, they're probably losing this match too,
right.
Unless it's to push the female. In it.
So I lied. So that was the third thing I wanted to talk about was what? Wait, wasn't that?
Oh, we want to talk about the main event.
What was the main event?
The main event was Carmelo versus Wesley.
It's not showing up.
Well,
yeah, it is. Here it is. Yeah, it is. What you think of the match?
Match was fine.
Fine. You didn't think it was good?
It was good, but the ending was meh.
Oh yeah, go ahead and text because you did text me. Go ahead.
The ending was meh.
Tell me why you think it was meh.
Like Wesley rolls into the ring and Carmelo just pins him.
No, Carmelo hit his can't miss, whatever that thing he does from the top rope. He caught him rolling in the ring.
I guess it felt meh. For as good as the two of them should have been able to pull off a match, it did not feel like the ending that we deserved.
All right.
Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay.
All right. Let's do
Dynamite.
Yeah, I'll let you lead off next. I've lost
it. This was basically a build up to All In, right? We got I can't even remember what really happened on it.
The Elite versus Juice and the Guns.
We did get Kenny Omega beating up Takeshita at like the
Mhm.
beginning of the show. I was almost hoping that Jericho would have come out to help Kenny Omega, which would have brought out Will Ospreay, but TK decided that wasn't something they wanted to do.
Was that the beginning?
Yeah, it was the beginning.
That was
But like 10 minutes in.
Moxley and Ray Phoenix, and
that was after that, actually. Moxley versus Ray Phoenix was after the Takeshita thing.
You're right.
Yeah.
Because the Moxley and Ray Phoenix, that's what I want to.
Go ahead.
We knew that the Blackpool Comedy Club, the Blackpool Combat Club,
Comedy Club
was going to get involved, and they did.
We're making jokes.
They they hit old boy in the head with a crowbar.
They got to laugh.
Now, as much as we talk about,
I thought it was a shillelagh.
concussions, no, it was a fucking crowbar. They came up with crowbars.
Okay.
And they're talking about Tony Khan's like no hits to the head with chairs,
and yet they're sitting there banging everybody in the fucking
somebody
head.
with
Yeah.
a crowbar.
Yeah.
And he laid out in the ring, but that's not even what I want to talk about.
Okay.
Everybody came rushing down. So Cero Mero came down to help his brother, which brought out Kingston.
Oh, and then we got
where'd that music come from? We were like, where's that music? It was damn
Santana Ortiz.
Santana and Ortiz. Ortiz came out first.
Proud and powerful.
Yeah, but I don't think they were that deep. They came, Ortiz came
I
out
don't
first.
think they were even that.
I mean, their tag team. I don't think that's what they were going about.
Right.
So Ortiz came out first, and then new music hit, and then Santana's back apparently, and they blasted Eddie Kingston, and they went down the ring. I guess so. They're going to be joining the Blackpool Combat Club for whatever
for at least Sunday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If I had to guess, I have a feeling they're going to turn on the Blackpool Combat Club. The reason why I say that specifically is because they have long history with Eddie Kingston. So I don't think... I think this is one of those things where it's like, oh, we wrestle a 40-minute match, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they blast their own teammates. And you and I sit there and go, how the fuck would they do that? Yeah. You know, why would you wrestle for 30 minutes and then go, you know what? Fuck it. We're done. Like, no.
Another intricate. I like, this is one thing I can say. The only consistency kind of thread I do see running through this.
Sure.
Renee's backstage.
Yes.
Wanting to interview. She comes up to Kingston, and Kingston goes, you really? Did you see what your husband did? They're still building on that Moxley Kingston. You see what your husband, you want me to fix it? You want me to fix it? I'll fix it.
By the way, someone in the audience said, y'all look like you've been friends since you was kids.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
Pretty close. Pretty close.
So he pushes the microphone on right hand.
Yes.
Then we got the Jericho Will Ospreay contract signing, which I don't understand.
Chris Barrett says Eddie Kingston is trash. At least he got a haircut.
Anyway, I don't. It's this Jericho Ospreay thing just feels
forced,
thrown together for a pay-per-view.
It does and it doesn't, and here's why. Jericho versus Ospreay sounds like Jericho going, hey, before I'm done, I want to work with the best possible people at least once. And in this match, like I kept saying, because I couldn't hear it, I could only see what was going on when I was watching it. I was like, we got European Cena versus Chris Jericho. Like, because he's wearing the hat, he had the jersey on. I mean, he literally looked like year 3 John Cena. The thing is that Will Ospreay is better than John Cena ever was in terms of a wrestler, right? Okay. As a wrestler. At the same time, Will Ospreay also gave the promo of his career. I didn't like that after he gave the entire promo of his career, as soon as Jericho grabbed the microphone, Will Ospreay's going, like motherfucker, he gave you those moments. You're sitting there saying, shut up, I don't like talking, I don't like hearing you. Like, kid, now's when you just sit there and you go, like this. And then when Jericho's like, now it's time to be separated, that's when you jump in and you start fighting.
Okay.
I think with as little time as they had to build to this match, they did everything they could to make it as good as they could. My problem with this is that Will Ospreay is not an AEW contracted wrestler. And AEW is trying to say, we're putting on the biggest show we've ever done. Everybody on that show should be an AEW contracted wrestler. To me, the reason why I say that is because Chris Statlander, who is a champion in AEW, is not on that card.
I think she's coming because I think after the match that Soho had that night, she said that she's coming for her. I think that might be thrown last minute.
It might be. It might be on the pre-show. It might be any of that stuff. The problem is that Will Ospreay is a New Japan contracted wrestler who is on a show for, and here's why I say this. AEW saying, oh, we did 85,000 tickets. We did this. It's the number one ticket selling show of all time. By the way, WWE this week came out and said, hey, the 2 nights of WrestleMania 40, day one ticket sales, 91,000 ticket sales. So 45,000 per day.
I wonder if that means for them.
What?
I wonder if AEW means for them.
Well, no. They do, but they still do mean that it's because even the Pontiac Silverdome, when they did 93,000, they probably didn't sell 93,000 tickets. At the same time, they're saying 84,000 distributed tickets, not sold tickets, right? My point here is this. It's an amazing feat. They probably sold 80,000 tickets. They've given away 5,000 tickets so that way they can, have like giveaways and stuff like that on radio shows and whatever. My point is that, like, I kind of forgot what my point was.
You're talking about Will Ospreay not being in the AEW.
Yeah. So if the thank you, because that's exactly what I wanted to get back to. If the WWE was doing an event where they said we're going to sell as many tickets as we possibly can, would they have anybody that wasn't a WWE contracted employee working on that card? They have had Tyson Fury, who is not a WWE contracted employee. They have had Jushin Thunder Liger work big events when he wasn't a WWE contracted employee. But when it comes to WrestleMania,
that's not even Vince.
It's not even Vince. Even Triple H would not let that happen. That's my point. Is that right now AEW is sitting there going, "Hey, we're gonna have the biggest name in UK wrestling that we can get our hands on, even though he's not an AEW contracted employee. We're gonna have him on the show." And if you look at their other major shows, we've got New Japan guys, we've got Ring of Honor guys, we've got TNA guys.
They own Ring of Honor now, so I have to give them that.
But TNA guys, Impact, New Japan, whomever, they literally go out and find the biggest names they can get to, and they and it's not just the Forbidden Door pay-per-view; it's all of their pay-per-views. They sit there and put these guys on the shows. WWE would not do that, and they shouldn't do that. In fact, the closest WWE gets to doing that is saying, we may have an NXT match on this.
WWE doesn't even do that, but
They don't, yeah.
AEW is still trying to build. I think they're still trying to find themselves. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying they're not making a mistake, but you know what I'm saying? They're still trying to catch. They're trying to gain traction.
I'm not saying it's a mistake or anything else. I just think that it's a ploy to get more people to buy tickets to a show that the WWE would not even have to sit there and put that ploy into place. Now, granted, let me go ahead and say, it is an amazing time to be a pro wrestling fan, because if AEW, the number 2 promotion out there, can sell 80,000 tickets plus for a show in the UK, and the WWE can sell 90,000 tickets on day 1 to WrestleMania without ever announcing a match between both of them, 75,000 of those tickets were sold without ever announcing a match. 91,000 tickets were sold without ever announcing a match. That's an amazing time to be a pro wrestling fan, regardless of what your preference is. My preference is not watching the Young Bucks beat FTR, which will probably happen on Sunday night.
Can we finish Dynamite?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Darby Allin and Nick Wayne against AR Fox and Swerve Strickland.
So 300 total pounds.
Now, what I don't understand is they did all this building Swerve and AR Fox, and they got this match with Sting and Darby. But Swerve, they fire AR Fox, and they beat his ass, and they kick him out. And I still don't understand
why
that, and who's going to take his place? Is it going to be Luchasaurus or Christian Cage? I don't understand it. I don't see.
You know who it's probably going to be? Who's the guy that walked out?
Keith Lee is going to join.
One night only. Why not?
And okay, Christian's promo.
Okay.
I think it was a little tasteless. I didn't like it when he did it with Jungle Boy, and I don't like it when he did it. I think I can see trying to make it personal, but Christian dug in a little
too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It made me kind of like cringe and uncomfortable.
Goose, we agree. R.I.P. to Bray Wyatt. The thing about Christian's character is that they really are making him the dirtiest player in the game, right? They have built him to where, censors be damned, he's going to say what he needs to say. Is it okay? WWE wouldn't allow it. But does that mean it's wrong? Not necessarily. And I think you and I both know that if you want to be the biggest heel in the industry, and right now, because MJF is technically a babyface, who is the biggest heel in AEW? It's Christian. And he knows that he can't let his foot off the gas at this moment. Because if they actually keep, honestly, if they keep MJF as a babyface, who do you think's the next heel that goes against him?
Christian?
Why not?
They're going to put the bet on Christian?
I didn't say that. I just said that. Why wouldn't you put your biggest heel versus your biggest babyface? And I'm not even saying it happens soon.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the biggest problem with AEW is that they go, oh, we'll put Christian on Collision, and we'll have MJF wrestle on Dynamite, and they won't ever overlap. But at some point, a bad guy needs a belt. And yeah, he's carrying around a belt, but he knows it's not his.
Give him the real world champion.
I would.
And then maybe go against.
But I think that ultimately the real world champion, CM Punk turning heel versus MJF as a babyface, is the end game.
And they're gonna unify those belts.
They have to in a ladder match, right? Like I mean, CM Punk is a Shawn Michaels / Razor Ramon fan.
They did it with him and Cena.
But they did it with him and Cena way too fast. If you notice, they're burning this midnight oil on this one.
Yeah. All right, let's look because we're almost 2 hours.
Yeah, that's fine.
So Young Bucks FTR face off, which I was surprised to see FTR there. And
well, it was local. They're allowed to.
Ruby Soho and Sky Blue. So Ruby wins. Renee is backstage with Roddy and the Kingdom. And he says by the end of the night, we will see who MJF and Cole are at all.
But that's not even what I'm actually like. Yeah, I missed something on NXT.
What?
And it wasn't said on NXT. It was all over the internet.
Oh, when Tiffany said that Becky Lynch is one of the NXT champions, and Becky's like, I was never a champion.
Nope.
That was said.
No.
But what?
A couple pictures of Cora Jade showed up with enhancements. And the internet just started posting big eyeballs. Seeing these enhancements.
Okay.
And they said, when did that happen? Well, folks, Cora Jade hasn't been on TV in a little bit.
Yeah.
And I can see why.
All right. Well, let's finish this because I really don't want to be here till midnight.
No, you're fine.
Reach down and finish Dynamite. Aussie Open and the Hardys for the ROH Championship. That wasn't going to go down. Aussie.
Potsy Open, yeah.
But in between that, the Acclaim made their way to the ring.
Yes, they did.
In street clothes. They weren't in their trunks. They didn't even come out to music. They got in there. They demanded the House of Black come out. House of Black obliged, came out, cornered the ring, started whooping ass. And then the Acclaim music hit, and it's Billy Gunn coming down to it. He said...
Who made everybody get out of the ring.
Yeah. He's like, you wanted my attention. You got it. He said the hardest thing he had to do was walk out on the Acclaimed. He said, but the reason why I'm back because you hurt one of my kids and you pissed all over my legacy, my career. And he said, I'm not going to be daddy ass, the fun loving guy. He's pretty much said the badass is coming back. Now, what's the badass character in WWE, a tough guy? I don't remember. So why now is everybody supposed to be scared? Oh, he's going to be badass Billy Gunn. I'm like, badass Billy Gunn, with part of the New Age Outlaws, was still a comical character.
Still daddy ass, yeah.
So I don't understand. You see what I'm saying? That didn't do anything for me. I'm like, oh, now you're a tough guy because you're a badass Billy Gunn. But badass Billy Gunn wasn't a tough guy to either.
All right. I don't think this has anything to do with his characters. I think this has everything to do with Billy Gunn protecting his own in terms of his kids. And when we say his kids, we mean the Acclaimed in this situation. Because obviously the Gun Club thinks that they're fine the way that they are.
Yeah.
Although we still think that at some point Billy Gunn's gonna turn and join the Bullet Club. I think that's where he ends his career, honestly. I think that this is a moment where Billy Gunn getting angry, doing all this stuff is a father figure saying, "You done pissed me off, and now you're gonna get your ass beat." And while he said this isn't daddy ass or anything, it's not Mr. Ass, it's not badass Billy Gunn, it's not any of that stuff. It literally is a father figure sitting there saying, I have to defend the honor of my kids.
So you think now they're going to win those? They've tried like twice and got beat for those trios titles. And he pretty much said this is it. I think he's pretty much said they're going to win this titles or he's going to quit for real.
Well, I still think, like I said, I still think he ends up with the Gun Club. I think he ends up with his kids. But I could see him winning the trios belts and then losing them to Bullet Club Gold. Okay. And him being the one that like gets pinned, and then after he gets pinned, he sits there and he hugs his kids for real. So I could see something like that.
And then we got Aussie Open, and that was the main event against the Hardys. That we knew they weren't going to win. This what Cole and MJF came out to where all the hubbub was.
All the hubbub.
He got ready to hit they tried to do the double clothesline. No. He tried to do the kangaroo kick. No.
So I was sitting at the bar, and this guy next to me was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "He's trying to do a kangaroo kick." And he's like, "The fuck?" And I said, "You had to have watched like a week ago when they went to Outback Steakhouse and all that." And he was like, "Oh, okay, I think I get it now." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's just wrestling being wrestling."
All right, so that's it.
So we probably should give a quick.
You don't know what fucking quick.
No. I can go name. That's
all
it.
Right. 0 hour. We got MJF Adam Cole against Ozzy.
MJF Adam Cole.
They win the
yes.
the ROH Tag Team Champions. Okay. Kenny Omega.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kenny Omega because Cole's not going to win that world title. Kenny Omega, Adam Page, Kota Ibushi against the Gun Club.
I think you just said who it was.
Okay.
Kenny Omega and
Sting and Darby, Swerve Strickland, and Christian Cage looks like in a coffin match.
Becomes a little more interesting with Christian Cage involved, but I still think it's Darby and Sting.
Stadium Stampede, the Best Friends, Orange Cassidy, Eddie Kingston, Penta, El Zero Miedo, and a mystery partner versus Moxley, Claudio, Wheeler, Yuta, Santana, Ortiz, and a mystery partner.
So I think at this point, this is where Santana or Ortiz end up turning on their team, and Eddie Kingston's team actually gets the win.
I wonder who these two mystery partners are going to be, too. That's interesting. Real World.
What do you think?
For Eddie Orange, Best Friends, and Kingston, the Silver Meadow.
Like I said, I think Santana Ortiz ends up.
I think the mystery partner for the Blackpool, I think of returning Daniel Bryan.
I don't think he's ready.
You don't think he's ready?
I don't.
All right. Real World's champion, and I think Orange and Crew wins. Like I'm agree with you.
Okay.
Real World's champion, Punk, Samoa Joe. We already said Punk's going to keep that.
Punk keeps that.
Trios champion, the Acclaim, Daddy Ass, House of Black. The Acclaim.
You think they claim Daddy Ass? Okay.
Yes.
I'll agree with you.
Women's World Champion, Hikaru Shida, Britt, Saraya, and Tony.
This is one where we might actually disagree. I think Saraya wins the belt.
I say Britt.
I think because it's in England, Saraya wins the belt.
You say Saraya, I say Britt.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
FTR and the Young Bucks.
Young Bucks.
Young Bucks.
I don't want it. I don't think they should. I do think that it's you got in trouble, here's your penance.
I think even before he got in trouble, they were losing those belts.
I think you're probably right, but I think that this solidifies it.
And then finally, Cole and MJF.
Adam Cole.
You think Cole wins it? So you think they win the tag belts and you think Cole wins the championship?
I do, but only because a week later, I think he loses it back to him at the other pay-per-view.
Okay. All right.
What do you think? You think MJF?
I think if they win the tag titles, I think MJF goes over.
See, I think that it forces them to have to work together, even though it adds more tension knowing that MJF lost his belt to Adam Cole.
There you have it, folks.
See, I told you I could get through it pretty quick.
All right. So that's it. That's what we got. You can check us out on the X. It's not even a Twitter anymore. On the X. He is Potsy. You're Potcheck.
I'm at Potcheck on X.
And I'm Hootie Fan 91.
Yes.
On I almost said Twitter, but X is Twitter. On you can catch
Insta.
us on Insta. I'm SC Tino. You're Rob Potsy Potcheck. Right? And
Rob Potcheck.
Rob Potcheck.
Yes.
On the TikTok.
We're here right now.
And we also have a Potsy and Tino show TikTok. We're gonna figure out how to do this too.
Well, we have to get 1,000 followers on our actual You and Me page to be able to do this on our You and Me page.
Well, follow us on the Potsy and Tino show. Find it on Potsy and Tino.
Otherwise, my big stomach just gets seen on my page.
On X, we're the Potsy and Tino show.
Yeah, we are. Yeah,
we're Potsy and Tino on Facebook. We're the Potsy and Tino show. We're here each and every week on YouTube. You can check us out there.
YouTube, we're Rob Potcheck.
Click that like button, subscribe, buy our shit, and then give them your handles. Did I get them all?
I think you got most of them. I mean, it's okay. Rob Potcheck on Instagram, Rob Potsy Potcheck on TikTok and Instagram. It's Potcheck on X, Facebook. It's Rob Potcheck. And then YouTube, it's Rob Potcheck. So
Thank you to Adam's House Cat for our theme song, the wrestling song. You can buy it on iTunes for 99 cents, 99.
And it is used with permission.
Why don't we have to say that now?
Well, because we don't want to get kicked off of TikTok, who does stop you from using music. It's Chinese.
I almost said something. We would have got
Anyways, folks.
Thanks for the hearts.
Yes, thank you for the likes. Thank you for the hitting the goal tonight. We really appreciate it, and we will see you next week. Right? We're not
next week.
We don't have any reason not to be here.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. You're not here.
I think it's 2 weeks. Yeah, but we'll talk about that next week.
All right. So with that said, folks, thank you so much. Watch Heels. Watch Billions. Watch your favorite shows. What's another show that you said?
The Gifted.
The Gifted. But you actually said that there was not the Minx, but there was a show that you told me that I needed to watch last week that I did not watch.
I don't remember.
Anyway,
we'll figure it out.
Folks, thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. We will see you next time. And I am looking for the outro. Here we are. So, yeah, you don't get to end the show. See,